stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. Texas Truck Works is your go-to truck customizer. From mild-to-wild lift kits, custom wheels, and steering and handling enhancements to the best personal and commercial wraps, Texas Truck Works delivers. Let Texas Truck Works founder Scott Stevens help you get the most out of your truck or Jeep. Texas Truck Works has decades of customizing experience, including power adders and complete engine swaps. Let the Texas Truck Works team design an upgrade plan that fits your budget. Get truck attitude today at texastruckworks.com. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Show, the award-winning weekly go-to all things automotive place. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars, King Conrad DeLong, Jeff Zekin, David Ainsley, I'm Don Armstrong, coming to you from the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise-In at the Lupe Tortilla Mexican Restaurant in Katy, Texas. Thanks for joining us today. We're so glad that you could ride along. We got about a 30-minute window here to squeeze in some more guests. Mr. Mars, who do we have over in the hot seat right now?
Well, you've been looking at this 67 Impala sitting right out here, the fastback model, which is kind of unusual. Now, that is owned by Mr. Cary Bartlett, who's joining us now.
I absolutely love that car.
I'm telling you.
Seriously. Yeah. And I mean, I never, ever see that car.
No, you don't.
You don't
Unusual.
see 67 fastback Impalas.
You don't. I looked for probably a year and a half before I found them.
Where did you find it?
Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Natchitoches, Louisiana. Was it a Louisiana car originally?
No, it's an Arizona car originally.
Yeah?
And
do you have the history on the car? Parts of it? Pieces of it? None of it?
I have pieces of it.
Yeah.
You know, I bought it. It was an original numbers matching car, SS 396 Turbo 400, 12-bolt car. I found it on eBay, and it didn't reach reserve, and I got a hold of the owner, and like a lot of guys do. To get
Right,
it.
sure.
And
worked out a deal?
well, I got within $500, and he said, "Why don't you just come see the damn car?"
He's going to
He said, if you don't think it's worth the other $500, he said, I'll pay for your gas to go back home.
Well,
so I drove from Sugar Land to Natchitoches.
with a trailer.
No.
Oh, no?
Driving car.
You're going to plan on driving it home?
I brought a mechanic with me, and a friend of mine was a mechanic, and he went all over the car, and he said, you know, this is a rust-free, solid car.
Has it got the original frame and everything?
Yeah, well, I got tubular suspension and four-wheel discs now, and some other things.
Right, you've upgraded it, but it's still.
Yeah, it's got the original 12-bolt rear end, and
that is so cool.
I looked at the car. He said, "Take it down the road. The gas tank is full." So down the road I went. I drove about 10 miles, brought it back, gave him his money.
$500 now, huh?
Yeah, I said, and then I hopped in it, turned the air on, and drove it home.
Back to Sugar Land.
Back to Sugar
From
Land.
Natchitoches.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
2001.
Oh, really?
so
So you've had it 20 years.
I've had it 19 years, yeah, almost 20
That
years.
is. What about the motor? Is it the original motor in it?
No.
You put an LS in it.
I drove it stock. It was a low mileage car. It was a 68,000 mile car when I bought it for $7,500.
Oh, that's a steal.
Best deal I've ever had.
No kidding.
For a numbers matching SS, yes.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, I drove it stock until late 2010. And then converted to LS. It's got an LS6 circa Corvette 2004.
Right.
Put it in with a 6-speed, and I drove it with a 6-speed until, 5 months ago, I guess. It was either put an automatic back in it or get my knee fixed. So
You put the automatic in it.
yeah, but I wish I'd got my knee fixed. It'd been a hell of a lot cheaper. And easier.
And your knee's still bothering you. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but he's still bothering me.
So do you drive it often?
Yeah. In 2011, right after the motor went in and everything was running,
Right.
I took it on the power tour.
Oh, you did. How was the power tour?
I started in Cocoa Beach, so it was a long way to drive from here to there.
To get started.
And then on up to all the way up to Detroit and then back. It was 4,400 miles.
Whoa.
I got almost 23 miles to gallon. You know?
Did you?
Yeah, it's a beautiful drive.
That was still with the 6-speed, though.
Yeah. I missed the other 2 gears. Huh?
4,400 miles, no problem?
No, absolutely none.
Well, why would it have? Why? It wouldn't have a breakdown. It's all new.
Oh, it's an old car. They all have breakdowns.
Yeah.
Now, when you bought,
And a lot of people on Power Tour understand that and bring lots of spare parts and tools to help people along the way.
Yeah,
does it still have the 52-year-old wiring in it?
Partially. You know, it's been upgraded some for the
When
for
you
the,
did the
computer-
conversion.
for the LS
Right.
stuff, right?
Right.
But I still got the original fuse block under the dash.
Still the same interior?
Same interior, same color. I mean, it's all original colors.
Oh, wow.
Really? So it was white with a blue interior?
Yeah.
Ah, I love it. Don't tell anybody, but of all the cars that are here, I really like that car a lot. A lot.
Hey, we got something in common.
Yeah, we do, apparently. And you live in Sugar Land?
Actually, I live in Richmond now.
Okay. You moved out of the out of the city.
I went further out in the suburbs.
Yeah.
About 3 miles from where I lived before.
Gotcha.
He's on the way to Needville.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Going the wrong direction.
Yeah, that's the wrong
Yeah,
direction.
you got to go the other way.
No.
Yeah. But, I truly appreciate the car.
That is.
Now it does not have the stock wheels on it.
No, they're Foose wheels.
Foose wheels.
It's got vintage air. It was an original AC car,
Was it?
but to clean up underneath the hood, and I went to vintage air.
Yeah.
I kept everything. I kept the motor and the transmission and all the.
So you've still got all that stuff.
No, I finally, after about 10 years, I sold it. You know, or 8 years. Sold it 3 years ago, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm never going to put it back.
Yeah, it's going to be your forever car anyhow.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know how long that's going to be. I'm 79, so.
Oh, my God.
Are you really? Yeah. Man, you look good
But you
for
got
79.
but you've got all the factory look to it. Like you say, you went to vintage air, but since it was an air conditioned car, you could keep the vents, you could keep all the dash material looking original.
But you know what? I have to compliment you on this. I'm typically not one of those oversized wheel kind of guys, but that really does look good.
They're
Yeah.
17s. They're not that big.
Well, I can't see it because Jeff's standing in the way, but that's beside the point.
There's 17s, yeah, but they're clearly bigger than the stock tires.
Than the
that
14s that
the
came from the
14s that
factory,
were-
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
But they look good.
And the other thing is that it's so clean. I mean, there's no
part of what makes it clean is the hard top. There's no post.
Well, there's that, but I was talking about the trim in particular. I mean, there's no door edge guards on it. There's not the other stuff that's hung on it. It's just clean. It's got the engine badge up on the front. It just
Got the SS on the
Well,
back.
and it's really got a different look because of the fastback. If you look at the window, he's got both the windows down on the side that we can see. And the way that the lines on it flow together there, that you
Really
don't
cleans
see
it
that unless you were looking at the fastback car.
well, there weren't that many of those
Well,
back.
here's another SS, but it's a 65,
Right, but that's-
60. Yeah,
That's a 5,
65.
yeah, 65.
It wasn't. There weren't that many built. If I remember correctly, back in the day, there weren't that many two-doors because when you went to the big-bodied cars like the Impala, most people got the four-door.
Right, family.
Am I wrong? Am I right?
There were a lot of two doors. Then there were a lot of SS 396s. That was the. If it had been a SS 427, I wouldn't have touched it. Right.
Right.
Because they were rare, very rare. 396s.
A little more
So
popular.
they offered 427s.
They did.
With this 396 as well.
It was a 427 385 horse, and you could get it in an automatic or a 4-speed. But they didn't make very many of them.
Was the automatic power glide, or would it have been a 3-speed?
It would have been a 3-speed. It'd have been a turbo 400.
Yeah, I would think so.
But they're
67,
very, They're very rare. It's hard to believe, I guess. Looking, if you put a 65, 66, and a 67 side by side, they're exactly the same length. But the roof profile is what makes it look longer.
I was just going to say that is what makes that car. That and that right rear, the rear fenders on it. The way that it's all blended in to the fastback.
It's got a little more of a rise to it than that 65 that just rolled by.
Just absolutely gorgeous. It's a stunning car. And I'm sure that you probably get lots of compliments on it wherever you take it.
Yeah, I've had a lot of places I get compliments, and then I get people saying, "Why did you ruin the originality?" Well, because I could. It's my car.
Yeah.
It's your. That's
My
right.
God, it's my car.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, and, you know, as
Think of all the money you've saved not pouring gas into that 396.
Well,
yeah, it's gone into other
I don't
things
worry.
though.
Gas is pretty cheap right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. But you know, I've changed my opinion. I used to be an LS change-out resto mod hater, but I've grown to appreciate them. And like you said, it's your car. You can do whatever you want with it.
Plus, it's the simplicity of it. You know, now it's key up, fire up, and it runs.
Yeah, you don't have to worry
go pump it and worry about flooding it and going to a flood start. Yeah, it's
Well, and this guy here was the one that told me, because I've always been a '69 Camaro. It's my dream car that I'll never have. But I always wanted it original. I want the 302 in it. I want the 4-speed in it. And, you know, I tried to say carbureted. And he said, no reason to do that. And so I thought, you know,
Not if you're going to drive it.
they've now got the fuel injection system that looks like a carburetor. You put an air cleaner on it, you can't tell the difference.
exactly.
Yeah, I have one of those. I have a '78 Malibu wagon with a mild 350 in it and the Phytech fuel injection.
Yeah.
And it drives wonderfully.
And you don't have to worry about, you know, the choke sticking or the float sticking or some sort of fuel problem with it.
You know, the fuel today with an old school carburetor, you're always going to have
Issues.
always going to
struggle.
have issues unless you drive them all the time.
Right. Yeah.
It's a new world, and
So you have a station wagon, too. You were holding back on us and didn't tell us that.
well, I can only drive one at a time.
Well, I know. But
So how many miles have you put on this since you bought it? Since it sounds like you're not.
well, we know
afraid to put miles on
4,400 for sure.
Yeah.
Probably 30,000.
it. Have you really?
Maybe a little more than that.
So you
drive.
truly do enjoy
That's
the
8 or
car.
10,000 miles a year. That's pretty good.
That's the driver. No, it's
No,
not.
he's had it for 19 years.
Let me get my shoes off and recalculate.
Hey, use my fingers.
Yeah.
No.
Now, do you do a lot of the work yourself on these?
I used to.
Yeah.
Then I aged out, but and I actually have a little more money now to play with than I had back then. So,
Right.
so things I would have done myself before, I now pay for.
Somebody
So
else to do it.
do you go to a shop? Do you have a particular person that you go to for
There's a
different folks?
Yeah, there's a shop in Rosenberg that I use as a restoration place that does, you know, they do a little bit of everything.
It's not the one on Highway 36, is it?
It is. It's South
think-
Coast Rides.
Yes, I know exactly where that is.
I've been using them for 15 years plus.
Yep.
I mean, they're
Well, once you
They're
find a
great.
place you can trust
Yeah.
and they do quality work, it's easy to go back and recommend them to other people. But you don't want to recommend them to too many people because then they get too busy.
yeah. But if you recommend them enough times, they'll get you in.
So let me ask you this: do you know a friend of ours by the name of Bill Seitz?
Oh yeah, yeah. In fact, I've got a one of his
Pieces of artwork.
pieces of artwork on that particular vehicle.
Yeah, yeah.
I do too. My Rally
That's-
350
that's a
isn't
big
here,
one.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Bill's a good guy.
Yeah.
hell of an artist.
And
Yeah,
Bill
he
lives
is.
out there in Richmond now.
He's actually in the same place I am. I'm in the Del Webb
Yeah.
Yeah.
old folks home. I mean,
Yeah.
over 55 community.
Yes. Well, we actually did a broadcast out there. I guess
The
it was a
Oldsmobile Club had their car show there at the
community
Clubhouse.
center.
At
Community
the
center,
lake
yeah.
house, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so,
That was a real nice show, too.
yeah, that's a beautiful neighborhood out there.
Yeah, it is. It's my wife passed away last year, so I needed a change. I needed to downsize, and I needed a change. But you know, I'm gonna have to get a couple little dogs, so I'll be
keep
able
you
to-
occupied.
well with my neighbors, right? That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So, do you have any other cars other than the station wagon and this one?
I have one other. I've got a '71 GMC Sprint that I with 50,
Well, you go for the
57
odd ducks,
50
don't you?
57,000 original miles,
Oh my God!
fully documented, all the way from the the GM to dealership invoice.
Did you buy it new, or you just got the
but it still had the dealership name on the title when I bought it.
Oh wow! So what motor's
close
in that?
enough?
It's a 350 two-barrel with a turbo 350.
A lot of people don't know what a GMC Sprint is. It was GMC's version of the El Camino.
Yeah, it came out in '71.
It was a good-looking car.
Yeah, and it looks. It actually is in pretty nice shape. You know, it's rust-free. The history on it is there was a dealership in Chickasha, Oklahoma, called
Ralph and Sons.
Ralph and Sons.
I called on them as an they had an Oldsmobile franchise as well. I called on them in the '80s. Ralph and Sons. How?
I bought that vehicle from Ralph's son.
Oh gosh! Now I'm gonna.
That is so cool.
I'm gonna pull his name out of my head.
You know, we're gonna come and hang out with you. You don't mind, do you?
I don't mind.
Okay. So yes, we definitely need to stay in touch with you. You know that we do this show every Saturday, and we do it out of Sugarland. So you're right down the street, so to speak. Yeah. I live by the sugar factory.
On
so
a big map. Yeah.
Yeah. So well, it's great to know you. And to meet you, and hopefully we'll get a chance to chat some more. Maybe we just have one of those throwdown little get-togethers where we have
do some shots.
Do some shots. Yes, we'll do some shots. I can get my buddy. Are you a Houstonian?
No.
Not originally.
Not originally.
Yeah.
I'm from Rochester, New York. If you want to go back far.
Oh my God,
But
this guy.
Westchester County, New York.
Yeah.
So you were outstate. I was suburbs of the city.
Yeah, I'm up on Lake Ontario.
Kodak country.
Kodak, Eastman Kodak, Xerox, you know.
So before you retired, what did you do?
Little as I could get away with and still get paid a lot of money.
You're clearly a car guy because we know that whole genre. Yes.
Yeah, I worked for. I originally started out after I got out of the Armed Forces, out of the Air Force, in early '64. There was a guy that I was in the service with when I was based in England, and he got out a little early because his father had a heart attack, but. Long story short, his father had a bar in Cheneyville, Louisiana, the only bar in Cheneyville.
Okay.
And he said, "Come on down when you get out, we'll get drunk." So, sounded all right to me. So,
yes.
When I got to McGuire Air Force Base in New Jersey, I sent my Foot Locker with all my stuff I wasn't going to need anymore,
Louisiana.
And sent it up to New York to my dad's place, and I got on a plane and flew to New Orleans and caught a bus to Cheneyville.
Yeah.
So I showed up, and timing was perfect, right? The town had voted itself dry, and the bar was just inside the town limits. So
timing, it's all in the timing.
It's all in the timing. So we drank the stock.
Yeah.
Got to do something with it.
And then drove to Berwick, Louisiana. Well, I actually drove to Morgan City and looking for a job.
Yeah.
And found a job working offshore for a company named Geophysical Service Incorporated, which was originally the parent company for Texas Instruments.
Oh wow!
So I worked for them all over the world.
Yeah.
I worked for them and the company that they sold, that TI sold the seismic company to, for 29 and a half years. And then I retired and went in business for myself, and then that was too much work. So I got back in the geophysical
So you're an oil guy.
Yeah.
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 Well, it's good. Houston, Texas, oil. We
Works
get it.
well.
Yeah.
Fits.
Yeah.
So I started that at 23, and I retired from that stuff 3 times at 72.
Very nice.
And he's got a passion for fun cars.
I do that. I've had a lot of them.
Well, it's great to talk to you. Congratulations, beautiful car, beautiful collection of cars. And we're gonna meet up again soon. Okay?
I hope so.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for stopping by. So we're going to do a little side bet here.
The son was Elroy,
so to speak. So they've had a raffle ticket thing here for $5. Goes to charity, and so these numbers that I'm going to read. There's two of them, and so they're each good for $100 Lupi Tortilla gift card. Okay, and so here's the first number.
Thank you.
048,
so everybody's involved.
048-217. 048-217 is the first one. Hold that over there so I don't put it back in here. And then the second number is going to be, oh my God, 048-216. 217 right here. There you go. There you go. Yes. And so the other one is 048-216.
So who's got? Here we go.
There's your other one, sir.
Winner, Lupi Tortilla dinner.
There you go. $100 gift certificate. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you guys. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Yep. So we invite you to mark it on your calendar for the third Saturday in December for the Tailpipes and Tacos event, and that is going to be on my birthday, December 19th. So it's going to be a birthday celebration.
Your birthday is December 19th?
It is.
Oh, that is just too weird.
Why?
So's mine.
Are you kidding me?
No, I was honest engine, December 19th. Except my birthday was in 1957. Don's was in what? 1931?
1931, yeah. Thank you very much for that. So we both have the same birthday.
That's why we're so weird. It explains it all.
It does
explain a lot.
You're only the third person that I've known that we shared a birthday. Mm-hmm. So
and the other one you married.
Yeah, myself. Yeah. Okay, Mr. Mars, who do we have?
This is for Conrad.
Oh, it must be an Oldsmobile.
Cary Bonner. Don't read ahead. Cary Bonner is joining us now, and Cary has a 442, but I'm going to let you explain that.
Yeah, it's a 1970 Olds 442 W30.
Okay.
And it's been fully restored. It's Sherwood green with the black stripes and black vinyl interior. And
did you do the restoration yourself?
No, I bought it restored.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's one of the best in the country. It's won some prestigious awards. It scored 993 out of 1,000 points at the 2010 Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals. And it scored 999 out of 1,000 at the 2012 Olds.
Extremely well done car.
Yeah. It's kind of unique. It's kind of what I was looking for, probably what I might have ordered had I ordered one in the day. It's a 4-speed car and has a radio delete, no air conditioning, of course.
So this is ordered for a track car.
Yeah, evidently whoever ordered it.
Dog dishes?
Huh?
Dog dish wheels, or you got the?
Yes, dog dish hubcaps with painted steel wheels.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a pretty unique car, I think, in terms of its originality. It's got a matching numbers engine, original M21 4-speed.
Close ratio, 21 spline.
And it's got a 391 Olds positive traction rear end.
It makes it buzz going down the highway.
That's the performance axle that was popular in the day. The more standard axle was a more road
340,
340 something.
Did you seek this car out?
No, I just happened to come upon. I mean, I kind of had a list of cars in my mind that I would love to own. I actually also own a 1970 Chevelle, which is, the same type body,
right?
Kind of another GM body car in 1970, and it's a SS 454 LS6.
Oh, it is a true LS6.
Yeah,
you got the monster of the muscle cars between the W30 and the LS6.
It's a beautiful restoration too. It's black with black interior, 4-speed bench seat. But anyway, I won't get too far astray from the Olds that we're talking about now. As you probably know, or a lot of your viewers might know, the 442 W30 was kind of a special version of the Performance 442, which was in turn originated kind of as a special performance cutlass.
Right.
But I think it became its own style.
It actually had its own VIN
Yeah.
tag for 442, and then it went back to an option.
So the W30 cars came with a special cam that the standard 442 didn't have, and special F code heads, and a special Rochester carb sitting atop a aluminum intake
made for it.
Yeah, with what they called free flow exhaust. Again, not headers, but evidently designed to flow a little bit better than the standard 455.
Orange inner fender panels, which is the telltale.
Yeah, that's the distinctive thing that people notice if you lift the hood or you look inside the wheel wells from the outside. It's got red inner fender liners, so makes the W30s stand out a little bit from the crowd, aside from the single badge.
So does the rumble.
Yeah, it does.
They've got a bit of a cam lope to that 455 cubic inch engine.
It does. It has a nice sound to it. In fact, sometimes I think it sounds better just loping along at idle than it does when you're, at 2,000 RPM.
Right.
Because it's got fairly quiet mufflers, so I haven't elected to make it louder on purpose.
Well, and the other thing about it is the 4-speed cars, you couldn't get air conditioning on because it didn't pull, and you couldn't get, if I'm correct, you couldn't get power brakes on it.
It's got power front disc brakes and rear drums.
Because I knew it didn't create enough vacuum because of the cam. The 4-speed had a different camshaft than the automatic did.
No, let me stand corrected. I think you're right. I think it has power steering, but not power brakes.
Right. Yeah, because I knew the overlap on the cam. It would not generate enough vacuum to give you the vacuum assist on the brakes. But what a cool car is that! I have a 70 Rally 350. It's not here today because the ignition switch failed last night when I was getting it ready to bring.
Well, I really enjoy driving this one occasionally. I just take it out, maybe every couple of months and drive it a few miles because, I think they deserve to be driven and seen, frankly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just kind of the caretaker. And
you always been a car guy?
Yeah. Starting when I was 15 and I was just getting my beginner's driver's license, my father, our family sedan happened to be in the shop, and this was in 1966, and he rented a Shelby GT350 from Hertz.
Oh, yes.
And,
sure.
The black and gold ones.
Oh, yeah, black and gold.
So your dad was a car guy, too?
Well, he wasn't as crazy as I am about it. But, yeah, he was a little into performance. But actually, he did that on 2 occasions in that year. 2 different occasions, rented a GT350 Hertz. And we had so much fun with it. He let me drive it a few times, which wasn't allowed in the contract, but I did. And he liked it so much, he ordered a brand new 67 GT350, which I ended up driving as if it were my own. It wasn't titled in my name, but all through high school and college, that was my daily driver.
You were the cool kid. Everybody wanted to ride with you.
No, either that or mad at him all the time because he's got the cool car.
Well, that's where I began really appreciating Carroll Shelby and his cars and Cobras. And I remember my father bought me his biography, which was published around that time.
Right.
And I just was really absorbed by that and became a big fan. I've been a big Carroll Shelby fan of his vehicles ever since then. So, I really get a kick out of when I see one on the street.
And there's a Shelby Oldsmobile connection. Carroll Shelby made the Series 1, which was a Oldsmobile Aurora powered pure custom car. The GM parts bin stuff because it had a.
Is that the early 90s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
95, 96, about the time the Aurora came out. And it had a lot of Corvette power suspension stuff on it and transaxle, but the Oldsmobile engine in it.
Yeah. I like the look of that car. That was a nice looking car.
They didn't make very many of them.
They just didn't sell very many.
Well, they didn't make many of them, and a lot of them out there right now are in serious disrepair.
Yeah.
I know there's a couple of them here in Houston that are in pieces.
Well, there's a couple of other stablemates that I'd like to add to the collection one day. I mean, no rush, but if I find the right ones. And that'd be a 70 Buick GSX. 455.
Saturn yellow.
Yeah, there's only 2 colors, and I prefer the white with the 4-speed and the stage 1, which would make it the most rare. But I think those look good, and the the 3 GM divisions each had their own muscle car that year.
Just saw a 70 model GTO Judge drive by with a Ram Air in it.
Yeah, I think the GTO for 70 would be another desirable one to have. Just to fit the mold of those cars I've mentioned, though, it would be the 455, although I guess arguably the Ram Air 400 was maybe a little bit better performance.
Well, you, sir, are the man, and we sure appreciate you stopping by. Unfortunately, our show is coming to an end, so we have to say goodbye. But thank you so much for stopping by. You're going to be out to the next one on December 19th?
I'll be here if the weather permits.
Maybe bring the 70 Chevelle?
Yeah, maybe I'll bring the Chevelle LS6.
Awesome. Well, we look forward to it. Thanks again. Well, that's it for this episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like, tell your friends about us, and share our junk. You'll get Conrad's Unicorn Hunting feature, along with all things automotive all week long. The In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict.
And we added Pandora this week.
Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video and marketing maven is Jeffrey Zekin. This week's In Wheel Time Car Show is produced and directed by Cantinflas. For booking agent and podcast man Mike out of this world Mars and his royalty King Conrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong saying so long for now, and we hope that you'll join us on the next live show. That's next Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to noon Central Time, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Thanks for being part of the In Wheel Time family. Mask up and stay healthy. Have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you next week.